Questions? No questions? We have no questions? Yeah. Yeah, local, of course. There's no remoting for POJOs. But what I did as servlet, this is my weblog. There is, blog adambien.com. This is, you can check it out, the projects. I did it more carefully because, lobby is POJOs and so forth. But servlet with injection of an EGB, which was injected another EGBs and two method calls. They were chained. And the same story with POJOs, exactly the same code without annotations. So this was my test. So, the overhead is nothing. No, right, but I would like to compare local with remote. This would be crazy. Sorry, it was not appropriate, yeah. So, entity manager. It's managed by the EGB container, actually a huge benefit. So in my personal opinion, this is much easier to build web apps with EGB3 than without, because there is one article from Sun how to build web applications without EGBs. You have to care. What you have to do is provide a filter, something like this, care about the transaction is stored in the thread, in thread local, then every free resources afterwards. So it is actually a huge framework what they are building. Or you have to install Spring, Google Jewels, or something like this, and they do exactly the same story. And with EGB, you get everything for free. The problem is the name. We should change it. Don't add EGB3, but something like, I don't know, Agilets or something, yeah? Not Fasola, but something else, yeah? Yapko or sowas, yeah. So in EGB3, we get singletons. Not cluster-wide singletons, but singletons. They work already. So you have one annotation at singleton, and there is a singleton and a server node. Not very exciting. What's really cool, you can kill all startup classes from WebLogic, for instance, or JMX from JBoss. You can misuse singletons. There's one annotation at singleton and another one at startup. So the singletons can start in proper order on the application startup. Is pretty useful, actually. Async methods, even better. So you have a particular method of an EGB. You can mark this method as async, and this is will be executed in an asynchronous way. But you can also pass back, future. Yeah, I had a chat with someone from Poland and told me that they upgraded to JDK14 now. JDK15 comes with concurrency and the future stuff, and JDK16 have it already, and Java 5 or EGB3 relies on JDK15. So future, Java util concurrent future, and async result is actually the wrapper. And what does it mean? You have something like a proxy, and you can cancel long-running transactions from there. There's a method called cancel, and why you need it? You can use it instead of JMS, for instance, Java Messaging Service, just for asynchronous execution. So embeddable, this line of code fires up the EGB container outside the container. So you can use in your EGB in your unit test. In a setup, just provide this line, EGB container, create EGB container, get context, and you get initial context back, and you are able to look up EGB3. So it was not a big deal in my EGB3 project because we built everything with new or with reflection. So I had three lines of code in setup to fire up EGB3. So test was never a problem. Questions? So deployable into war. This is somehow schizophrenic, so deployable into war, because what you can do now, you can deploy EGBs into war without EGB jar. So you have only on war web archive and put your EGBs into it. And this is actually great with tools like Eclipse, or I use NetBeans on Eclipse. Doesn't matter in my talk than NetBeans. What I can do, there's something like deploy on safe, and it will hot deploy only these classes will change with the whole application. And this is actually, frameworks like Wicked, for instance, a web framework. This is very good, well integrated. So you have, for instance, CRUD functionality is one class, and you can access this from all pages in Wicked. Even better with Java server faces. Yeah. So, and this was actually, my fault. Global JDI names. The problem, the last problem with EGB3 was the names were not standardized. So you deployed one EGB to JBoss, and the name was something like EGB jar class name / local remote. On Glassfish was fully qualified name of the remote interface. On a web logic was something totally crazy, something like bin name, dash, and something else. Yeah, this was the problem. And this was standardized, so-called global JDI names. They start with Java, :global/env. So this is, I actually like it. And superb integration with Java server faces, of course, Wicked. My project right now, CMGWT or the GWT. It's a crazy idea, actually. It is cross-compiler from Java to JavaScript, but yes, it works somehow. You know GWT? Yeah, cool. Standalone rich clients, of course. There was one, I'd give you lightning talks. What I did in one project, I just started the EGB container in Eclipse RCP. My problem was only, I named it Fat Client Architecture and I was fired. I do the project again and named Rich Internet Application with hybrid components. And I got additional contract. So naming is very important in Germany. RESTful services, JSR 311. You know RESTful services? Who knows that? Who saw that? Okay, cool, 2 persons, I will show you this. And the web service SOAP, okay, is not very famous stuff. If you like XML and play around with XML, it's good to test your XML editor, but I try to avoid SOAP and use something like servlets, or we can sell it like RESTful now. So RESTful for the beginners is nothing else than HTTP used right. So, and someone wrote a thesis about this. Just remember, get, post, put, delete. About 4 verbs, it's a thesis written. It's okay, someone writes a thesis about SOA, it's even less, but yeah, it's interesting enough. JSR 181, I will show you an sample as well. JMS, JC, Corba, and IOP. Corba and IOP almost forgotten. In Germany, there's the perception Corba is too heavyweight. So what does heavyweight? No one knows, but the funny story is I was in some embedded projects and they used Corba because it is lightweight. So on enterprise server, it's too heavyweight, but for embedded space, it's perfect. So I think we need on the server the embedded processor, and then it will be lightweight. But what you can do with Corba, what you can easily do, this is a hack, but it works very, very well. You can expose EGB2 or EGB3 EGBs with a remote interface as Corba components. And we were able to talk, this was Glassfish and JBoss, with EGBs directly from C++ without any libraries. Just the easiest possible integration from embedded space to EGB. This was the reason why I wrote Corba IOP. In general case, it just doesn't care. You can use RMI T3 from BA, or I don't know, from RMI from Oracle, and data source and Java mail. Okay, no one hacks on the conference. You are developers or managers? Okay, so I will try it. The mic still works. It's amazing technology here. So one project, JDD. I will deploy on Glassfish. It's the reference implementation, totally free. It's something like JBoss, works like JBoss, with the difference the administration console is somehow usable. So it is you know JBoss? It is something like, looks like, I don't know, Web 3.0 almost. So you had 500 links, yeah? So new session bean. I used the wizard first time. I don't know, hello service is a perfect. So, and now we are in Poland. So it's PROIDEA is the company, right? JDD, a remote interface. So, and you are, I think, already scared what happens now. And what happened actually is just this. So I have one stateless marked and hello service remote. And this is a remote. So this is my service. Can you read it? Perfect, right? Yeah. Pardon? So this is Java. Okay. Yeah, I know, but I think there's a beginners here, you know. No, it's my mistake. I started with JDK 1.0 and I used, I don't know, everything was just this time plus formatting from this time is just, I don't know. But you're right, it's superfluous.